So very good morning to one and all present here. Sorry for the delay. Myself Mohit Rora, and today I am here to present on the topic of wealth creation, maintenance and growth. To begin with a fun fact, as per a report by the World Economic Forum, it is proved that in the entire world, only 1% of the population holds for 40% of the total wealth. So what is the thing that discriminates the other 99% of the population with the 1%? That is the simple art of wealth creation, wealth maintenance and growth. So here are the discussion outlines. First is we'll understand with the help of a brief illustrative example that what the concept of wealth creation, maintenance and growth actually is. Then we'll understand what wealth actually is. Rather than from a financial aspect, it differs a lot. Then we'll understand some of the novel ways to create wealth, to maintain wealth and to grow wealth. So first let's understand the concept with the help of an example from the book How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes by Peter D. Schiff. So the example is such that in a far island there lived a man named Abel. So the food options were very limited there. It was only the fish that they could consume. Consider in our example fish to be the wealth. So the food options were extremely limited. So he used to fish daily and fulfill his daily consumption requirements. One day he thought that it could not be the same way. If I go on daily for fishing just one fish and consume it daily, it is not the thing. So one day he decided by staying hungry, what he decided is he made a device called the net. With the help of the net, from the next day, with the help of half of his efforts, he could fish double the fishes, that is two fishes a day. So how this helped him? Firstly, our lessons from the extract would be first is he did wealth creation. Wealth creation is that is by fetching two fishes that exceed his daily consumption requirements of one fishes a day. He was able to create wealth because if that day he wouldn't have thought ki I today I'll have to stay hungry, but later when I'll be able to create that device, it will be beneficial for me in future. It wouldn't have been possible to do that. Then is wealth maintenance. Daily he fishes two fishes, but he'll be able to consume only one fish. So if that other one fish he doesn't store and preserve in such a way that he could use it in the future, it would be of no use to him. And the next is growth of wealth. Because of the leisure of not to fish every day, he did not worry about his survival. So every day he had a plan ki I'll have to do something new to increase my productivity. So by this way he had more options open to grow his wealth. Now is understanding wealth. Wealth is basically in economics term, wealth is anything that has value. If you possess an article that does not possess anything that has value, it does not constitute for wealth. However, wealth is a very subjective nature. For me, wealth must be something else. For some another person, the measurement of wealth must be something else. So it is a subjective concept. And the other thing, it is not a fixed but a static concept. Static concept means it keeps on changing continuously. As much you must be knowing that in the past 2 3 days Elon Musk surpassed Jeff Bezos to be the most richest man. So yesterday I asked Alexa, who is not currently the most richest man in the world right now? Alexa said baap pe jana nahi. So next, wealth is the concept that you use for scarce economic resources. Then is basically wealth is currently not interpreted properly. That's why, because we can interpret anything in two ways. One, it is in the relative sense and the other is absolute sense. Wealth cannot be interpreted as an absolute sense, but it is generally interpreted in a relative sense. Relative sense means a person's well-being, that how often, how happy is he, depends on the relative sense. That's why people basically are not happy, because they do not see how much wealth they've accumulated. They compare it in relative sense, that how wealth others have generated, and if they are higher on the scale they are happy. However, if not, they are not higher on the scale, they consider themselves to be not that good. Then is what being wealthy actually means. Being wealthy is much deeper than owning a BMW, wearing designer clothes, or owning a vacation home in Bahamas. First is being wealthy allows you to give. Then is being wealthy helps you give, set back a legacy. Set back a legacy means you can take an example of Mr. Ratan Tata. He had the enormous wealth, everybody knows that. But surpassing that, he always left behind himself a legacy, that today Tata is recognized by his name. And the other is being wealthy gives you options. See, today if I earn 1 lakh rupees a month and I spend that out without savings, without accumulating my wealth, for every day I'll have to strive that what today, because I have nothing saved for myself. So being wealthy gives you an options to be financially freedom and to think of what other you can do in your life. Then is here are the following ways of wealth creation. First is wealth creation. The basic step is work hard and earn an income. What does it mean? Rather than doing your daily work, rather than getting your daily wages, what else can you do? First is get promoted at work. Then is start a side hustle, try to get a second source of income. Then is cut back your budget, that we have learned very well in these times of corona. Then is be intentional about your lifestyle. So about earning a source of income, it's basically divided into two parts. First is active income and the other is passive income. So what is active income? See, today if I work for the whole day in office and I earn some income, that is active income, for which I put my time, my resources in it. But on the other side, as it is rightly said, first you have to earn the income, then your money will earn for you. So me working for the income is the active income, but later my money working from me is a passive income. So in India particularly, passive income is much hyped, that today people don't focus much on their active income. They It is correct to say that passive income is a much hyped term. People like to say मैंने शेयर मार्केट से इतना कमाया, मैंने इन्वेस्टमेंट से इतना कमाया. So basically I feel that comparatively active income is underrated compared to passive income, because active income acts as a base that we create for passive income. More stronger the base, more the stronger the building of our wealth creation will be. In our stages of investment cycle, first, as you can see that active income constitutes to majority of our total wealth creation portion. But as we go later in the stages of our investment, we can particularly see that passive income surpasses the active income that we generate in the stages of creation of wealth. Then is grow your money. Grow your money means it is not enough to just earn an income, but you have to grow that money. How can you grow that money? First is you will have to let the power of compounding show what it can actually do. And then it is you have to outpace inflation, because say if your money is growing at a 3% per annum rate, whereas inflation is growing at 6% per annum rate, so money that you have saved today and that could be used later is of no use, because typically if you are not outperforming inflation, you are basically killing your money. Then is stray allergic to debt. So it approximately 86% of the general people believe that those people who have grown rich have grown by way of using debt, but it is not the case. It's actually shown that many of the millionaires, what they actually do is they avoid debt carefully. You can take the examples of say Vijay Malia or many other cases like that. Actually they've used debt, but debt has not been in their favor. So debt is not a bad option, but how to use it in our favor, it's actually depends on that. Then is have a long term mindset. See, wealth creation is not a one day tool. You need to have a long term mindset. In India, what is the problem? Today so many IPOs are coming and they are getting 500 times, 600 times subscribed. Why are they so? Because people are not looking at the fundamentals of the company. What they are looking at कि ग्रे मार्केट प्रीमियम कितना चल रहा है, डब्बा बाजार में कितना कीमत है. If they see that gray market premium is 150 times or 200 times, they typically invest without actually seeing key what are the growth prospects of the company, how will it be go in future. So for this, if you are having a short term mindset, you will invest in such stocks, but you are having a long term mindset, then you will think of ways to create wealth that will not help you in short term but will help you in long term. Then is I'll typically it's a mantra that when it comes to investing and wealth creation, be a tortoise. In the hare and the tortoise race, be a tortoise. So what does being a tortoise actually mean? First is be wise, be patient, be steady. Then is don't withdraw from your retirement accounts, how much tempting may it be. Then is don't live above your means. And the other is look at the thing of compounding to show its benefit. It will certainly build your wealth over the years. So these are the characteristics that a tortoise possesses and will substantially go and win the race. Then is how to maintain wealth. See, wealth creation is another topic in itself, but today you must have come across many of the books that say ways to create wealth, 100 ways to create wealth, 1,000 proven ways to create wealth. But wealth maintenance does not form very good highlights. Why doesn't it form very good highlights? Because it is not a much tempting option. But believe me, wealth creation is half the battle won. If you don't maintain that wealth properly, then it gives you a short termism and will not assure you being wealthy in the long term. So wealth maintenance is also important. So what are the ways to maintain wealth for a long term? First is diversification. Diversification is a very important tool of risk management, and it is rightly said, don't keep all your eggs in the one basket. So that will be possible with the help of diversification. And the other is get is insured. You are earning wealth, it is good, but the assets that you have created with the help of wealth, it's important you get them insured, so that in stages where you are not possible to earn, actually they help you. Other is stick to what works for you. There may be plans that everyone has its own financial goals, everyone has its own financial plans. What works for me may not be working for someone else. So stick to what works for you rather than going for another tempting options. Then is where we come into picture. Hire a good CA and listen to them, because we know in and out of the finance. So we can actually, it is a investment banking is a very growing form nowadays. Because of it, because we are required there, we need to manage the money. Then is seek good legal advice. The laws in India are so lucrative, they are changing at a so rapid pace that you need to have a good legal advisor, so that whenever you are entering into contracts with somebody, you know the in and out of the contract and what consequences will it have in the later times. Then is set an SPE for each investment. Being fortunate to raise finance for many of the real estate companies, I once thought that why are these real estate companies for every each and every real estate project, why aren't they incorporating it in the same entity but forming a separate LLP for each and for each project? Then I came to know that this is because with this concept, set up an SPE for each investment. Because say if a legal case comes on the one entity, they are not hampered. It does not hamper the another entity that we have invested in for themselves. Then lastly, growing wealth creation and wealth maintenance. So then the power of compounding comes into picture, and how we can grow wealth. So first is, to grow wealth, first you have to earn it. That is your money, your wealth. Then is you need to save until it hurts. It is rightly said by Warren Buffett that don't save what is left after consumption. Consume what is left after saving. So it is correctly proved by this fact. Then is you need to optimize your spending. In these times of corona, if our parents wouldn't have spent, then we weren't be able to surpass this time. So we understood the what are the benefits of saving. Then is you need to put your money work for you. Then is you need to marry smart. Now you must be thinking that how does marrying smart affect my wealth? It is currently proven that divorce takes away 75% of the net worth. And today in the America, the most richest woman is Mackenzie Bezos, who is the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. What happened after the divorce? She got 25% shares of the Amazon company, and that eroded correctly the wealth of Jeff Bezos, that got to the benefit of her wife. So you need to marry smart. Then is you always need to and protect your family. Earlier, insurance, as I told, is the wealth that you have created. Currently, insurance is for yourself and your family. Then is you need to take care of yourself first. As correctly said, health is wealth. So take care of yourself, focus on your health, so you'll accumulate wealth. Then is surround yourself with people better than you. You must be seeing that in a CA curriculum, why does a CA student evolve so much? It is because in the earlier ages, he's more equipped to work with such kind of professionals, that the surrounding which he is upbringing in, he potentially gets into a competitive edge over other professionals. Then the other is it's okay to go slow. See, wealth creation is not a single day term, is a not a one day term. It takes life, it takes over the years to go. So it's okay to go slow and don't hustle much. So a last investment, an investment that you may in knowledge pays the best interest. That is why you are here. So invest in knowledge and you will correctly accumulate wealth over the long term. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Since you mentioned about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, can you explain in brief why yesterday Jeff Bezos was on the top and why today Musk has surpassed him?
So, ma'am, currently the investments that Elon Musk has made and the vision that he's having, you can see that last year in the current times, the share of Tesla was quoted at $80. And today, currently, the shares of Tesla are quoted at $800. So, this is basically what are the investments they have made, because of which you can see that as their value of their investment rises, so their wealth goes on accumulating. It is not fundamentally what has changed, but it is his vision and his mindset that people tend to believe that Tesla is doing this, so this is beneficial for me in the long term. So having a long termism, Elon Musk has currently surpassed Jeff Bezos.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So I have three questions for you.
you. Okay, sir.
One is, according to you, who is tortoise and who is hare between Ambani and Tata?
So I must say both possess characteristics of both, because earlier Tata was compared to be a tortoise, but now they are but now with the improvements they are bringing in Tata Motors as well as TCS, they are considered to be growing at a faster pace. Now currently they are also going into electric vehicles. They've started plans for that. So currently it's not we cannot categorize them that who is a hare and who is a tortoise. It would be too judgmental for that. But as per my point of view, I would consider that over the years I have seen, say that Tata is considerably more of a tortoise and Ambani is considerably, as on date, more of a rabbit.
Okay. Who is more smart, wealthy person, Tata or Ambani?
Sir, Tata is in who? Ratan Tata.
Tata Group, Tata Group, or Ambani Group, you can consider.
Sir, see, it was told that Ratan Tata could have been the most wealthiest man of India. But what Ratan Tata in one of his interviews told that why aren't you richer than Mukesh Ambani? So he told that Mukesh Ambani is a businessman, whereas I am an industrialist. So this differentiates Ambani and Tata.
No, who is the smart, wealthiest person? Okay, last.
Yes, sir.
Who is having active and passive income, Tata or Ambani?
Active and passive income.
More active or more passive income, whether it is Tata or Ambani?
Sir, currently Tata is having more passive income because over the years, what wealth they've generated, Ambani's have started generating much wealth currently, means they were earlier in the business. But when Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani got separated, so Anil Ambani got most of the businesses that at that time had accumulated more amount of wealth. Whereas Mukesh Ambani, being the smaller one, got those ones that were not that cash rich. So currently, over the years, now Mukesh Ambani has become cash rich, but considering to the fund reserves that they are having that contribute majorly to the passive income, so currently Tatas are having more passive income as compared to Ambani's.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just one last question. You said rhyming word, health is wealth.
Yeah.
Can you describe health? Just change the topic. Health creation, maintenance, and growth from financial point of view. Got my question?
Sir, see, there is a particularly a relationship that health plays with one's mind. See, if you exercise every day, you will have a better mindset and you will be able to perform well. So so initially in your stages, health creation could be staged that in days of, you can say, in days of our internship. So in that days we don't create much wealth, but what we can do is actually we can create health. In and later when we earlier qualify to be a chartered accountant, then the work pressure is so much. So rather than creating much and much wealth, health we'll have to focus more on maintenance of the health, and we can focus more on creation of the wealth. And lastly, if we do both hand in hand, then we'll grow health wise as well as wealth wise. Thank you, sir.